Hello, everybody. Welcome back to World of Warships Legends. This is Talladega Knight here with some Fuso gameplay and a game that I think kind of underscores how well the Fuso can be used as an aggressive battleship. So, I actually really like this map. It's got the B cap with the trap that you just basically get stuck in, and I think it looks great. Fairly new addition to the game. I know it's been there for like a month or two now at this point, but we're in the Fuso, which has just a crud ton of guns, pretty much anywhere where they can fit one, including these two kind of weird dongers in the middle that, you're if you can shoot it at your enemy can hit you probably harder than you can hit them. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. So then we see an American cruiser captain making the cardinal mistake of American cruiser captains by driving a Pensacola. Um, so we send out, and these guns aren't that accurate, but RNG giveth in this case, and we got two Citadels. We've already gotten 24,000 damage just on the Pensacola. So you've got a lot of guns that are not the most accurate. They're not as bad as like a German battleship, but they're not that accurate. And you can see I'm trying to signal a little bit with my team. We have a good group of us heading down south, and so we've got good support. And I think battleships often do best when you're in the support role. We're hanging back a little bit right now, just because I don't want to rush into this cap and get torpedoed by something like, that Farragut. I know the Farragut's not a great torpedo boat, but we've got targets and we can cover our friendly destroyer who's in the cap. And we see this Warspite coming around, and he's just perfect broadside to us. We send out, and the grouping is looking good. Right on target, right for that back aft part. And we hit him decently. Nothing to write home about, but we get a few hits. Like I said, RNG giveth and RG taketh away. So we've got the Farragut up ahead. I'm kind of debating what do I want to do. Our destroyer actually moved out of the cap. So I'm thinking, okay, he's probably in trouble. He's probably taking too much heat, so he had to back off. So I decided to start turning into the cap and turning away from the destroyer, so it just makes sense. Whenever you're in a battleship, you don't want to be rushing a destroyer, even one with bad torpedoes, because if you're going toward a destroyer, you're essentially increasing the range of their torpedoes by whatever your speed is multiplied by however long their torpedoes stay in the water. So even somebody with a 5-kilometer range torpedoes can have 7 or 8-kilometer range if you're booking it straight toward them. So just like in any battleship, you have to constantly be monitoring for anything that can shoot torpedoes at you, because you don't have the time to respond, nor the hydroacoustic search that cruisers have, and definitely not the maneuverability that destroyers have. So you just obviously can't dodge torpedoes. So you have to be thinking ahead. You have to be dodging torpedoes before the people who fire them have even fired them. So we're keeping a weather eye on the Farragut, and on the Pensacola, and he's not long for this world. But that was probably a foregone conclusion before the game started. Pensacola is just such a sad ship. I've almost unlocked it, but I keep not spending the money on it because I just kill it so often. So we send out another volley against Pensacola, and we get our first kill, which usually I wouldn't shoot at something that was that low because my team could finish it off. But in this case, since I had done all the damage, I was like, okay, this is my kill. I'm going to take it. But hindsight, I probably should have used my shots to go against the Warspite or something else. But it was the only target, so can you blame me? All right, so we got the Farragut. I mean, I've got nothing else to shoot at, so I might as well. It looks like a really good grouping, and it's a hit. Whatever. What can you expect in a armor piercing from a battleship at greater than 10 kilometers or so? But my team can definitely finish this guy off. We got a cruiser and a destroyer moving in down in the south. So now we turn our attention north, because At this point, our team is not doing fantastic. I mean, we're even on ship kills, but the enemy holds 1 cap and are about to hold 2. So we see this Warspite moving into the cap. He's given us a great target, but he is turning in, so he's going to be a bit more angled by the time he comes around. And our destroyer's down there trying to give him the business. And we are basically getting free shots here because whenever there's a detected destroyer, everyone shoots at them. Which, I do the same thing. If there's a destroyer detected, I'm going to be shooting my guns at it. So we spot this Arizona ahead of us. Now, this is another essential, Fuso or, just even battleship in general. You want to point your bow toward incoming battleship fire. That's just a principle that you need to try to live by the best you can. Oh, it looks good. All right, smack him for a bit. So we point our bow pretty much straight at the Arizona, and we're a little bit sideways to the Warspite, but he's about to go behind an island. So you also don't want to be charging straight into a cap, or sorry, into the enemy as fast as you can in a battleship. It's just a good way to get yourself killed is to be going fast because you're in a battleship. You can't turn and move and maneuver like other ships can. So I start reversing, but I'm still pointing my bow toward that Arizona. And there are a lot of ships coming out of the woodwork right now. It's like they all came down through that top channel and are rushing down through this cap. So we've got a little cruiser coming at us. And notice I haven't even targeted the Arizona yet, because the Arizona is probably going to be the hardest target to kill of all of the ones mentioned, or of all the ones visible right here. So I'm just keeping my bow pointed straight toward the Arizona, and we've got a lot of enemy ships coming at us. Now, the nice thing is we've actually had some good support from our teammates, and while we're right here, hopefully the enemy will start taking shots at us. Kind of, the situation in reverse where the Arizona is the strongest thing, so I don't want to shoot at it. I'm hoping that the enemy team will make the mistake of shooting at me. Oh, we were so robbed in that shot. So I'm hoping that the enemy team will shoot at me because I'm the closest target, and I can take the hits. My destroyer and cruiser friends can't take the hits, but they can dish the damage. So, you got to go back to your World of Warcraft roots and be the tank while your friendlies do the damage. And I'm trying to punish them when I can. And to be honest, I don't do the best shooting here. The cruisers on the enemy team make some very questionable decisions here. There's 2 Albas and an Omaha, or is it 2 Omahas and an Alba? I forget. 2 Omahas. So Omahas, they're like the Pensacola, but a little bit better for their tier, where they can get citadeled super easy, but they can pack a lot of firepower. And I actually do something risky here where I turn the guns to try and get them broadside, but I'm still trying to stay angled against that Arizona. Now, for the Fuso specific, you can't always have all your guns pointing at the enemy. I know I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, where it's just going to be rare where you can get those 2 middle guns pointed at the enemy, because if you can point them at the enemy, you're basically broadside. They can broadside hit you. Now, this is an Omaha, so I'm not as worried, but I am being a little bit risky and maybe showing a little too much side to that Arizona here. But one thing I just want to point out is we've been under fire from the enemy for about 3 or 4 minutes now, and we're still at 2/3 health. So don't be afraid to get up there in your battleship. Be afraid in your cruiser, be cautious in your destroyer, but don't be afraid to go up and start bow tanking in your battleship. Do it smart. Remember how I was reversing, going slow into it? We were robbed again. I mean, we did some damage, but come on. Because all these guys have been shooting at me mostly. I mean, they've been switching targets a little bit, but they're wasting all these shots on me instead of my teammates. And it may be a thankless job, but support your team and you'll find that you just have better results in the end game. If you're actively trying to be a team player, you'll get more experience. You'll usually end up getting more kills because working as a team just leads to better gameplay, longer survival. And especially in battleships, it's really easy to fall into the trap of, oh, well, if I've got this really long range, I can just hang back and shoot at people from the back of the map, which, I don't know, yes, Spartan Leap 43, he can, he likes doing that on occasion, but yeah, and he has some good results with it sometimes. But you're just going to end up better on average, I think, if you play forward, play smart, keep your bow facing the enemy, tank the damage, but get in where you can get these, nicer close range shots. Now, again, this has not been the best example of good shooting and high damage. We have gotten some citadels, and we're doing a fair amount of damage. If I was a little bit better of a shot, we could be getting a lot more. But the most important thing is the ships that do the real damage, the cruisers with the highest DPS, they've been able to keep their guns going for the most part. I think most of them are dead at this point, but they were able to do their job. Oh, now am I finally gonna punish this stinking Alba? No. Oh man. But you can't keep playing like that forever. I was so frustrated by that ship because I had so many volleys that I was like, oh, this should be a citadel. No, this one should be a citadel. This one should be a citadel. Well, that's wrapping up this game. They've just got this one Warspite left, and he starts heading for the hills because, well, what else is there to do when you're the last ship on the team? And for me, we're seeing, oh man, I'm at 96,000 damage. Can I break the 100,000 mark? I also find that in battleships, you tend to break 100,000 a lot more than I do in cruisers, even though the cruisers have higher DPS. Battleships, you can sit in fire a little bit better. We were sitting in the fire of that Arizona, the Omaha, the Alba, the other Omaha for like 5 minutes, and we've still got half of our health considering all of our heals. You just can't tank that kind of damage in anything else. So even though the Fuso is not the tankiest battleship, if you angle your armor right, you can sit there and survive for a long time under enemy fire and keep your fire going, keep your team's fire going. And now we're just hunting this guy down, trying to break the 100,000 mark. Can we do it? We're at 97,000 shots out. Looking pretty good. Oop, get some hits, just some overpens though. So now we're at 98,000. It's getting close. Me and my cruiser friend here are just racing to try and see who's going to put the death blow into this guy. And he is just on the tiniest fraction of health. And he's actually targeting the cruiser, which is probably the smart move. I mean, not like it's gonna save him at this point, but we send out, and oh, he's still alive. We're at 99,000, basically 90,800. So just 200 more, and we'll break 100,000. Can we do it? Oh no, our cruiser friend might get the kill, which is honestly fine. He's had a pretty decent game too. Just a couple seconds. Stay on target. Stay on target. We send out. They are looking pretty good. Bam. We get the kill. We break 100,000, and that's a win for the good guys. So I hope that this video has been helpful in kind of demonstrating some of the battleship principles. Get 100,000 damage, quite a bit of experience, and a good amount of credits. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is Talladega Night signing out for now. Please like and subscribe.